I've loved talking to you, but I'd love to talk to some of your incredible characters if that's okay with you.
Oh, Tigger's a wonderful thing. The tops are made of rubber, the bottoms are made of the springs. I am the terror that flaps in the night. With the proper investment in Hondo Ohnaka Enterprises, we can make certain things happen for you. Well, don't forget to keep your butt well lit. Hello.
How are you doing, bud?
Very good. I wish I could let me figure out how to turn up my volume.
I can just scream really loudly if you want.
That would do it too, I suppose.
Hello, hello, hello.
Oh, that's much better. Hello.
Also, hello to you as well. I haven't said hello to you yet. Hello.
There's Margaret.
I will ask Margaret to come round here and do my volume as well, if that's all right.
I wanted to say hi to you, though. I love your show.
Oh, Jim told me that, and it made I nearly cried there and then.
Have a good interview. Bye.
Bye. Thank you very much.
And there she goes.
That's all I really needed. I just wanted to hear her say she loved my show.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. We're good. It's been lovely. Oh my goodness. Well, at last we meet, and I usually have drumsticks because you never know.
You are a man of so many talents.
When you get an attack of funk, you want to be prepared.
Should we just not do an interview? Should we just have a jam sesh? I've got no instruments whatsoever.
Now I have to tell you, you see this drumstick, this one. I've only got one left, but I'm almost 70, and I got these when I was 6 years old, and I've lost one of them, and it was in this damn house. So this house is officially haunted, but I still have this one, and I like this. A fan gave it to me. I've got a set of them, and you probably can't tell, but that's Darkwing Duck on there.
Oh, that's so cool.
So, I got that going for me.
Just to let you know, that one might go missing as well, because I might be taking that one.
All right. I'll take my chances.
Thank you so much for taking the time to chat to me, because I know you was meant to have more exciting things going on today. You was meant to be in Florida right now.
No, well, all is well. That's true. But I'm here with you, so life is good.
You big old flirt, you. Were you going to go hit up Disney World?
Well, every time I go down there, I always hit them up for a free pass and, go and lollygag and diddy bop. Sometimes I shilly. I've been known to shilly-shally, too.
Oh, you're the shilly-shallyer I hear about.
Oh, I am. Highly accomplished.
Do you just walk through there like a king, pretty much? So people just throwing free merch at you?
Yeah, that's exactly what happens. Of course. No, sorry, not really. No, listen, I'm lucky they don't charge me double. But they're very gracious to me. They're very gracious. I've got like 3 rides in each park. There's a Winnie the Pooh. There's Princess and the Frog. I understand is coming there, but my character is not in it because it takes place in the ensuing chapters after the movie closes, and I'm already in heaven.
That's what I wanted to ask. I'm genuinely gutted about that because Ray is one of, if not my favourite character you do.
Oh, thank you. He's one of mine too.
You know what? Never going to Disney World again. I am. I just want to support you.
Thank you. I am too.
I mentioned the merch here. I've seen that you've got a few like Winnie the Poohs. You've got Tiggers behind you. What is the best bit of merch that you have with not your face, but one of your characters' faces on?
Oh, gosh. Well, I have a jockstrap with Taz on. No, that's not right.
Here, let me show you.
I made that up. No, honestly, I don't know. There's so much out there, I can tell you one of my favorites from days gone by, and this has got to be 20 years ago. We did a thing for oh gosh, I want to say it was Mattel, a big toy company, and it was a talking Winnie the Pooh doll. And he was very articulate. He was very highly articulate. Really, it was kind of compelling. You know, he would sit there and he would start talking, and the mouth was beautifully animated, and he would occasionally, you know, do a little sigh motion, and it was quite something. And it was captivating. And you'd listen and you'd listen and you'd listen, and I had to go through every name in the universe. And I mean, and I was in the D's forever, because it would be like, well, I was walking through the 100-acre wood one day with my dear friend Deshandra, and then I would go, you know, and it was on a Deshiqua, Deshunzi, Deshipowitz, Deshungdemonka Hooka Woka, you know, and it would just go on and on. And I was fudge at the end of the day. And it was, I want to say, honestly, 29,000 names. And then it finally came out, and it was on the cover of Esquire magazine, pretty big magazine editor, and it got the Dubious Achievement of the Year award because they called it My Interactive Pooh. I was thinking every 2-year-old in the world knows exactly what they're talking about. Mine's interactive too. Look, it's a...
I mean, that's handy as well, because I actually want to call my firstborn Deshonda Fonda Fonda Fonda. So I'm pleased that you recorded that line, because I was worried we'd get no toys for them.
Yes, yeah. Well, we've got that going for us.
Now, while you was meant to be in Florida, I've just come back from LA. I wear this T-shirt now because I just like to show off.
Oh, nice.
I went to Disneyland for the first time. I'm really like annoying, if anything. So I bought so many T-shirts, and everyone's like, well, you're right. I went to Disney, and they're like, we don't care. No one cares. So I like to show off wherever I can. But I actually went to D23, and it got me thinking, what the hell have we got to do to make you a Disney legend?
Honestly, I really don't know. I think for a while, years and years ago, I was very politically incorrect. And I think that might have done it. But I mean, this is like 10, 20 years ago. But it's been pointed out to me by fans. Okay, this guy does a character. He's a legend. This one does a character. He's a legend. You're Winnie the Pooh. You're Tigger. You're Darkwing Duck. You're Tasmanian Devil, but that's Warner Brothers, so it doesn't really count. But I'm Ray the Firefly from Princess and the Frog. I sang a song in Lion King. I was Ed in Lion King. And one of my all-time favorites more recently is Hondo Ohnaka. And he's got arguably the biggest attractions in Disney World and Disneyland, and from Star Wars. And yet I languish. I was languishing.
You can dilly-dally, you can languish.
Yes.
The reason you should get it is because you, as you said, you voiced thousands and thousands of characters in your lifetime. But prior to that, did you have pretty much every job ever imaginable? Because I know you worked in a steel mill. You were a door-to-door salesman. You designed Mardi Gras. Did you just do everything? Yeah,
well, it was fun. You know, I wanted to, I consciously remember being, I don't know, maybe 5, 6 years old, and my uncles would be sitting around, or grandparents would be sitting around. Well, you know, I remember this one time I was working down at Clark's Diner, and, you know, this and that. And I thought, well, you know, I always knew where I was going to end up. I always knew I was going to do what I do right now, and for a long time for a living. But I wanted to get out there and do some stuff. And I read a lot of Mark Twain, and I thought, I have to work on the Mississippi River. I just kind of do. And I was crazy about Mardi Gras. I liked New Orleans in general. I think that I moved there right out of high school. And I designed and painted Mardi Gras floats. And I was just bound and determined that no matter what I did in the final analysis, I was going to have a more interesting stories to tell, and they were all going to be true. So, you know, and I was determined. And so I was a deckhand on a riverboat. Then I designed and painted Mardi Gras floats, and I did for like a week sell door to door. Collier's, I think it was Encyclopedia's horrible, horrible job. I made $100 and had done with it. Okay, next. But I just was determined that when I was going to be a little old man sitting around, smoking a pipe, which I still don't have a pipe. I was going to have really good stories, and they were going to be true.
I'd have still interviewed you about door-to-door sales, but I just don't think this chat would have been as exciting.
No, it wasn't. Lots of get the hell out of here. A lot of, so I had that going for me.
So at what point did you realize that you can do all of these voices and make a career out of it?
Well, I really was around 5 years old. There was a guy, a very famous comedian over here. I don't know. Jack Benny was his name. And he had a show going, and he had Mel Blanc, who was, of course, Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck and, just on and on, Sylvester. And he was a regular on the Jack Benny program on camera. And he had a bit where he was pretending to be from Mexico. Of course, he's this little white Jewish guy, from Yonkers, New York somewhere. And Jack Benny was saying, so it's very nice to meet you here today. See, and are you having a good time? So, I see. And what is your name? Sigh. He goes, okay. Do you say anything that isn't monosyllabic? See, and my dad says, you see this bastard? And I said, yeah. He goes, that's Mel Blanc. Now he's the guy that does all those voices, Daffy Duck and this and that, and blah, blah, blah. And I remember at the age of 5 thinking, well, he doesn't have to stand in the corner now, does he? Because he's annoying as hell. So I said, I'm gonna be him when I grow up. And so I knew where I was aiming at a very early age.
I bet your teachers hated you.
Oh, with a purple passion. They would. We don't have dolphins here at St. Columba, Mr. Cummings. We're fresh out of dolphins, okay? And so, yeah, I was a big hit with the nuns.
Do you use these voices around the house? Because I can imagine, do your family get annoyed with you just going around being like Winnie the Pooh and Tigger all around the house?
Well, they're all well used to it at this point. I've got, grown daughters and one still in high school. But, they're just like, and it was funny because when I first started working, my older girls, they would have their friends come over from school, and they knew that I was Winnie the Pooh and Tigger, and then Darkwing Duck was very big in the 90s. And she was very much in junior high in the 90s, which meant I was probably the most embarrassing man on earth. And her friends would come over and go, hi, Mr. Cummings. Hi. 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 And I would say, hello. And my daughter would come up, just please don't do any voices. Don't do any. And then I'd tell her, you little shit, those voices are going to put you through college. See here, Missy. You curtail, just put that in reverse right now. And so they did. And now she'll bring me in to talk to her class. So revenge is mine.
I can see why you're not a Disney legend. You just said, you little shit, they're going to put you through college. It makes sense now.
Yeah, yes, it does.
Did you ever have any dreadful voices for any characters that you have now when you're working on them? Were there any you were just like, oh my God, I'm so glad that didn't get picked up?
Oh, well, I was surprised that I got the Tasmanian Devil when I did. But in retrospect, I mean, I guess I did a pretty good job because he really only had, and it was a weird story because Mel Blanc's son, and it's not like you own a hardware store and you could turn it over to your son when you retire. Here, son, now you sell faucets. Which is, it's not. So he tried to do that with his son, and I guess he went into audition for Tasmanian Devil when we were getting ready to do the Tasmania series. And this is in the 90s, long time ago. But he went in and he goes, well, the Tasmanian Devil has 5 sounds. That, and, or, you know, something. And that was it. Then he left. And they go, okay, well, we want more. And so they kept auditioning, and then I finally got the job. So that was I forget the question, but it was that was a real blessing, you know, my one big Warner Brothers character. So, and I forget the question, but I'm sure I didn't answer it.
No, you know what? I'll mash and edit around your answer. It'll sound perfect.
Okay, good.
But you will be like, yes, I agree with what you said.
Yeah. Yes.
I know a lot of fans must come up to you and go, do you want to hear my impression of Winnie the Pooh?
Oh, they do.
Are there times where you just have to be like, yeah, that was really good?
Yes, it makes you want to smack your grandma. It's bad enough, so bad. but it's it's just terrible. You know, they'll go, okay, I do you. I said, you do me? Yeah, I do. No, I really, I do. Ask my wife. I said, all right, well, let's ask. Does he do me? Which meetings he does? He thinks he does Tigger. And I said, oh, okay. So let's hear it. Hey, I'm Tigger. Ha, 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 ha. And I go, it's freaky. You're freaking me out. I'm getting goosebumps here. Tell no one, please. I want my job. Get this man out of here. And the wife's going, told you. And it's just dreadful. And but it's a lot of people do, you know, they think they've got it nailed and this and that, and it's always very sweet.
Yeah, it's cute, but I hope we've given all of your fans that do it now just a tiny little complex that they're thinking, oh God, he's lying to me now.
Yeah, maybe just a wee bit. I hope.
With Winnie, like you took over the role from Sterling Holloway. Did you two ever get the chance to meet and discuss Pooh before you took it on?
No, you know, I actually, it's one of my regrets, and I don't have many, but many moons ago, when I was much younger, I was down in oh gosh, not Venice Beach, but he had he retired in one of our little beach communities down there, Santa Paula, I forget what it was. Anyway, and I heard my wife and I were in a little diner having a late lunch, and we thought we were the only people in the whole place. And we get up, and the waitress walks over to a corner booth, can't see who's in it, and says, well, have we decided what we're going to have for our lunch today, sir? And you hear this voice, well, I believe I shall have the chowder. And I looked at my wife and I went, and I mouthed Winnie the Pooh. And so I got up and I kind of walked over. And I got the salt, pepper off the other table. And there was Sterling Holloway. He was sitting there, and he was probably late 80s. And God love him, he looked like an albino crow. And so I went back and I go, yeah, it's Winnie the Pooh. It's him, you know. And I just, you know, I regret not going up and saying hello to him. I mean, I don't know what I would have. I at the time they weren't doing anything. It's not like I had, you know, taken over for him. But I was made aware that that he did read when we first started the New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. I want to say it's 85, maybe 86, and so he was quite elderly then, and he just kind of wasn't up for it. So he just, you know, he retired. And so they called me in and I auditioned and it's funny because I auditioned for Winnie the Pooh, for Tigger, I think Gopher, definitely Eeyore, because, you know, they hadn't been around in like 20 years, you know, since I was a kid. So I finally had a chance to grow up. I'm glad they waited, you know, and that was nice. And so I auditioned for Eeyore and Pooh and Tigger and I think Gopher, and I felt really good about Eeyore. Thanks for noticing me. I thought, oh man, nailed it. You know. So I'm sitting there looking at my watch, and 6 days, a week goes by. My agent calls me up. She goes, "Well, I have good news, but I have bad news." And I said, "Oh God, really?" She said, "I said, it's all right. All right, well, give me the bad news. Give me the bad news." She goes, "You are not Eeyore." I said, "Damn it. All right, who got Eeyore?" She goes, "Peter Cullen." Now, Peter Cullen, Optimus Prime, ace voiceover guy. You're going, oh, well, jeez. I can't complain. I can't complain. You lose to Peter Cullen. Everybody loses to Peter Cullen. Now I'm in the club. He goes, but there is other good news. And I said, what? You're Winnie the Pooh and Tigger. I went, oh, well, screw Eeyore.
In your face, Peter, you loser.
Yeah. Piglet Schmiglet. No, I said, you're kidding. And I just was flabbergasted. So, and it was great.
It's probably a relief you didn't get Eeyore, because there's only so much room on your shelves. You couldn't fit an Eeyore toy on there as well.
That's right. So I'll take it. Yeah, God, thank you, Lord.
Do you prefer sort of adopting someone else's work, a voice that they've already crafted themselves, or do you like creating your own character more?
Well, I like them both, but I think the others, like with Tigger and Pooh, and I guess Taz is in there, and Pete would be another. Pete, my buddy Pete, he's tied for first place as the oldest Disney character because he was in Steamboat Willie. I have to do that every time I say Steamboat Willie. Oh, crap. Don't worry, I won't say that again.
Thank God.
Yeah, all right. But no, he was great. Pete was awesome. He was, like I say, tied for first place because it was in that cartoon. And so I really enjoy that because you're kind of the keeper of the flame. You're bringing it forward to new generations, and it's an honor. It is to me. And but then, like different characters like Darkwing Duck and Hondo Ohnaka, and Ray from Princess and the Frog. Those are probably my top three favorites that I came up, originated myself. And they are very, very well received, and everybody loves them. So I'm honored as I could be. And then, like different people, like Leatherhead was a character on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the old series when it first came out, and he is literally because I have a theory that if you do a perfect impression of somebody that's famous, you might as well hold on to it. You never know, you might be able to use it. And if you do a terrible impression of someone who's famous, nobody has the vaguest notion of who you're doing. Hold on to that because that's a new character. And so, I have a perfect impression of, and his name was Léonce Leblanc, and he was a Cajun. He was from Louisiana, obviously. And he was the very first, he was the captain of the very first tugboat I ever worked on when I was a deckhand. I was a kid. Moved to New Orleans, joined the Merchant Marines because you had to work on the river, and he talked like this. That was the way that he talked. And so I said to him, I said, well, I got to pass a good time like that, yeah. And so I just stole him because he wasn't. And they said they needed a Cajun alligator, and I went, well, I think I got the guy for you, yeah. And everybody thinks the Cajun accent is just like a Southern accent, like you're from Alabama or somewhere like that. But no, it's very, very, very different. And so, I got to tell you, I often wonder because that was my first job that I got, kind of one of the very, very first ones. And I got to believe he was still around, and he was retired, and he's sitting around Saturday morning watching the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with his grandkids. Hey, Grandpa, come in here. You know this guy? Because I'm telling you, it was a dead-on impression, and that's that's like I say, that's one of the things I live by. And if you put impressions together, like Hondo Ohnaka from Star Wars, Clone Wars, and Rebels, he is two very famous character actors who are no longer with us put together, and you'd never guess them. I mean, even if you know them, you might not even know them. Yul Brynner from The King and I, and Charles Bronson. You know, because Yul Brynner, he talked like this. Well, he very, he's a puzzlement, you know. And Charles Bronson was just kind of, you're going to meet Jesus if you mess with me. But you put them together, and you get Hondo Ohnaka at your service. And so you mix and match. But don't tell anyone.
So is that a thing you do? Do you get two people that you know and sort of merge them together? Is that like a thing you frequently do in your voices?
I've done it. Yeah, I've done it a few times. Yeah, like and like to the point I made earlier. There was a character on Chippendale Rescue Rangers, and it was Lieutenant Spinelli, and he sounded like a guy who might have taken a couple of blows to the head. He wasn't real bright like that. And God rest her soul, that is the male version of my dear departed Aunt Grace. And so, you know, because she kind of sounded like, you know, and I said, Aunt Grace is perfect. And my cousins were very honored, you know, and, you know, so what can I tell you? And my Uncle Sam, he was a guy that kind of talked like this. He sounded like somebody dragging a leaf rake over gravel. He's been a bad guy. He's like the troll, the bridge. He's a good troll. How you doing there, Jimmy boy? You didn't mess with Uncle Sam.
One day, can you know the geezer that did the bad Tigger impression to you? Can you use his voice just to make him feel better? And then he'll finally be able to do one of your voices.
No, there's too many of them. They would all bang into each other and say, no, it was me. No, it was me. You know, I mean, you know, at a convention, they'll all just join up and, yeah.
Just an all-out bloodbath between them all would be horrible.
Yeah. Yes, it would be.
I want to talk about my favourite Disney film of all time, The Lion King, because I know it's this gorgeous, dramatic film. It's like Shakespearean. It's beautiful musical numbers. But I think the main reason is, and yes, I'm saying this because you're here, is because you play three characters in it. I mean, including Ed the hyena. With someone like Ed or Taz, how long does it take you to record their lines?
Well, I'm just glad that they made him look just like me. You know that dashing savoir-faire. No, Ed was interesting. We did Ed in an hour. We did Ed in an hour. I was the groundhog, and thank you for noting. Everything all is well from the underground, Your Majesty. Not to worry. Then it was back under. Excuse me, I'm going to die.
If I can get that on camera, that will give me some sweet views.
It would. Your viewership would have dozens more. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh, about Ed. We just, you know, they couldn't think of. They knew they didn't want him to talk, but he had to have a lot of emotion. But it all had to be in a laugh. So I had to come with a sad laugh. So Rob Minkoff, we're all sitting there trying to figure out, well, we can't write dialogue because, you know, he's not Shenzi, but, you know, Whoopi can speak, Cheech can speak, Ed, no, he can't speak. He just laughed. So they sat down, they gave me a big yellow pad and legal pad, and they wrote down, they said, okay, let's write anger. Okay, let's write confusion. Let's write happiness. Let's write ecstasy. Let's write dejection. Let's write out and out rejection. Let's this and that, just on. And so we had a whole legal pad, and I went down the line, and I laughed in every emotion. You know, and just went on down the line and down the line and down the line. And it goes, That's it. We're done. That's perfect. You know, and that was my Rob Minkoff, by the way. And so Ed was born. And it was just that sad and tragic and easy.
You must have sounded genuinely possessed trying to come up with these lines, like worryingly so.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You know, trepidation and insouciance. Wait, what? So just down the line. It was a lot of fun. And then of course I sang a song.
Well, I was gonna say, because you sang a song, and does Jeremy Irons know that you took over the ending of Be Prepared, or is he going to come after you and sue you for every penny you've got?
No, I don't know. I get asked that a lot. I don't. You know, I think they just. Well, I can tell you this. By the way, before we move on, my friend Jess Harnell, I'm sure you know him. He one of the animating, incredible guy, incredible singer. Well, Ernie Sabella and Nathan Lane were not known as singers. Well, I am, and Jess is, and so they had an idea, rather because it's really hard to teach somebody to sing a song who doesn't sing. They don't sing, and so and it's tough on them, and it's hard for them. It's hard for the director. So they go, let's just have Jim be Pumbaa, let's have Jess be Nathan Lane, and they'll sing Hakuna Matata. And then we'll give it to them on a cassette, and they can drive around and listen to it in their car for like 3 weeks. And that way they know it the same way they know Happy Birthday to You, you know, and we're good to go. So that's what we did. And as we were going through, Rob Minkoff again goes, well, I don't know. I mean, oh gosh. And Tim Rice wasn't there. Elton John wasn't there. It was just myself, Jess, and a couple of other guys. And they go, I don't know. I mean, every verse is like, when I was a kid, it was really hard. You've got it easy. Everything was easy for you. It was hard for me, blah, blah, blah. Nobody wants to hear that. And I said, well, wait a minute. Doesn't this guy have a problem with flatulence? Isn't he a warthog? Doesn't he pass the gas, as it were? And they go, yeah. And I go, okay, roll the tape. And I went over and I whispered in Jess's ear. So basically, oh, the shame, but what's in it? And I got downhearted. Tell me, how did you feel every time that I, Pumbaa, not in front of the kids, sorry. Hakuna Matata. And then so yes, I wrote the fart verse.
Which is, might I say, the best lyric in the whole film. Elton John has got nothing on you. Elton John's rubbish compared to you.
No. Okay, you're right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm so proud. My mom just beamed.
If I can get famous off of farting, I'm happy days. You're my inspiration.
Yeah. And I got farts into 2 major motion pictures of Disney.
Were they by accident or?
The Lion King and Princess and the Frog. When Ray, because I was Ray, I was the Firefly. And when he's trying to light up his butt, he's trying to screw it in like this, and he goes, "Hold on, eep. Oh, sorry, excuse me," you know, and they all look at each other like, "Okay, this guy's whack." So thank you. Yes, I did get 2 fart jokes into 2 major motion pictures. Thank you.
Maybe you'd have got that Eeyore gig if you did a few more sad, depressed farts.
Yes. Yes. I was using the wrong end. So, good. A good thing I've got my sticks here.
Do they just cover up the farts every time one comes out? You just do a loud drum?
Oh, yeah. I bring them with me everywhere.
I don't know how we do this smooth transition from flatulence onto Star Wars, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Yes, indeed. We covered Hakuna Matata and Be Prepared. And I don't know if Jeremy knows. But put it this way. He never said the word be prepared. That was all me. Now, he does the talking. But, I mean, I know it sounds salted. That's all me. The whole ending is me.
See, that used to be my shower karaoke song.
Oh, good.
I used to sing it in the shower all the time. Like my poor mum and dad would be sat down having cereal downstairs, and I could just hear it echoing through the house. So that's for you to blame that one.
Oh, I'll take it. Good, catchy tune.
All this time they've been sending it their hate mail to Jeremy, but it should have been to you.
Well, he gets credit.
So let's talk about Star Wars, because for me that's got to be the coolest part of your entire career history, like landing the role of Hondo.
Oh, yeah.
Was you well aware of everything Star Wars before you got it, or again was it a bit like, oh, I'll have the acting gig and then quickly watch it all on DVD?
Oh no, I was aware of it. I'd seen them all. I was a fan. You know, I in fact, it's a funny story. We were doing Tasmania when Mark Hamill, and this is gosh, like I said, 90s, probably 91, 92. And Mark was on hiatus. They had a little downtime, like 15 something years, and so he dabbled with animation voices, and he was the Joker. He was the absolute best Joker in Batman, hands down. And so he was amazing. And everybody's going, well, you know, Mark Hamill, he's in Studio A, and we were up in B, which is in another thing. We were doing Tasmania. He was doing Batman. And he said that he would like to meet you, and I go, no, he didn't. I want to meet him, and it was great because my mom was there, my aunt and Ann, and so I started walking down to the other studio. It was a big sprawling sort of complex, and here comes Mark out, and he goes, oh, there's Jim, hey buddy, and he comes walking up to me, and I go, hey Mark, how are you, man? It's great to meet you. Congratulations. You're down here slumming with us voice actors. He goes, no, that's ridiculous. Okay, so give me Darkwing. What? Give me some Darkwing, Duck. I am the terror that fly. Oh, wow. Okay, so that's in the mask. Very little, not much chest, right? But a little nose. That's all in the mask. And I go, sure. I never thought of it like that, but sure. Okay, now give me some poo. What? Give me some poo. Oh, well, I could, but only for a smackerel of honey. He goes, okay, that's really freaking good. You sound just like the. I go, well, that's the. Okay, now give me some Tigger. Okay, well, don't be ridiculous. I mean, oh, okay, but whoa, time out. You're not getting to meet me. I'm getting to meet you. Okay, let's get the pecking order straight here, mister. You know, and then we laughed because we're best buddies now. But it was just so ridiculous. It's like, no. I'm meeting you. But he's just like that. He's a nerd. You know, he's one of us. What can I tell you?
He is someone I would kill to speak to. I just think everything as you said, hands down the best Joker that there's ever been.
Shall we call him?
Yes.
He would shoot me, but.
And I've already got you in a fight with Elton John and Jeremy Irons. I can't have this grudge match going on.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm sure everyone and their aunt has asked you this before, but have you had conversations about live action Hondo?
Oh, you know, yeah. And I'm all for it. I mean, I don't know that I would do, you know, his makeup would save me, because I'll tell you that if you've seen the Star Wars Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run at Disney, it's pretty much live action Hondo. I was waiting for him to not do much moving around, and then he turned around and walked over, and I go, oh wow, that kicked my butt. So you know, I mean, especially since you know, Ahsoka, my girlfriend, is on the show, you know. Yeah, I can't. I would be there so fast it would make your head spin. You know, I call up Dave Filoni and tell him, hey, let's get some live action Hondo. And I think, I mean, he's a beloved character, and I think he's live and well by virtue of the parks, and now on Disney Plus. People are. It's interesting because I don't know if I mentioned this, but. Like, I'll go to conventions, and, you know, Darkwing's been off the air for 20 some years, and there'll be a 7-year-old cosplaying Darkwing, you know, and there's like 5 or 6 at every single convention, and now Hondo's as well, you know, and And it's all from Disney Plus, I guess.
They are making an Ahsoka live action series.
Hmm.
So I'm saying we get you in that then?
I would love it. Even if they get somebody else in costume, that's fine because I'm not tall. I'm barely 5'7", so they probably need him a bit taller. But I could wear shoes. I'll wear lifts. It's I because he's truly one of my all-time favorite characters. He's the most lovable rogue. And one very interesting thing, and they just let me go nuts, is I'm telling you, I ad-libbed every line.
No.
Ad-libbed the whole thing. Yeah, it was ridiculous. There was this one argument that I was supposed to be having with Obi-Wan, and he's because I was trying to steal something, but it went wrong, and I ended up scaring off the bad guys who were messing with Obi-Wan. And I said, I came to your rescue, and this is the thanks I get. I will send you my bill. That is you. Sometime you test our friendship, but we're not friends. But bloody hell, get back, And it was. And I threw poor James Arnold Taylor, I threw him to the wolves. He was Ewan McGregor that day. and they just kept all my ad libs. So I'm very proud of him. I'm very proud of Hondo.
That's amazing.
Yeah, Dave, they go for it.
If this does happen, we split your wage 50-50 because I feel like I've made it happen now.
You certainly contributed.
I'll get your drumstick at least.
From your lips to God's ears.
You mentioned him in Smuggler's Run as well. I don't know if you know, I went to Disneyland. I don't know if I've told you that already.
Yes, that's what I hear. The interweb told me.
But when I just fell in love with that animatronic, as you mentioned. It's so incredibly done.
I know.
When you're on that ride, are you sort of like looking around like, that's me. That's me, that is.
Kinda. Yeah. Right.
I'd be mouthing everything you did. Like,
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. It's a lot of fun, and and it's funny because when they gave me a ride on it while it was still in a prototype, and I just was blown away by it. I'm sure you how many times did you go on it?
Oh, I went over. Because annoyingly, I wanted to get pilot. So I went on it about 4 or 5 times. Never once got pilot. I was furious.
Oh, yeah. Well, I liked being the gunner. And the pilot, the thing that's interesting about it is, it's kind of on, like, it's up on a big, arm or whatever you would call it. And the first time they gave me a ride on it while it was still in a prototype, and I'm ending up sort of hanging off the side, and I go, okay, this is actual gravity. If I wasn't strapped in, I'd be on the floor crying. And I said, okay, this is a real ride here. And you have to pilot it. I kept crashing. Everybody's like, no, stop that. And I'm like, oh, sorry. I didn't think it would, but it does. Yeah, it does. I love it. Yeah. Somebody should get a raise. And I remember we were doing this. They were kind of, and I had no idea they were pitching me, for God's sake. I mean, like, you're pitching me? And it took me forever because the guys who were doing it, designing it back in years ago, they're going, well, we're anticipating this, and we're hoping that we can get you to do this and that, and perhaps Hondo would have something to say about this particular situation. And now, see, we're going to be doing some smuggling, and it's this, and I go, and they've got, and I'm in this giant room, and it's like a movie. It's very much like when you're doing a movie. They got these big, gigantic pictures of, and then you come into this scene, and then your guy goes, this and that, and I go, well, you really. I mean, this is a lot of work for something you don't even know if you're gonna do, if you're gonna have approval on it. And he goes, and the one guy goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. Did we give you the wrong impression?" And I said, well, I mean, this is a lot of work on spec. And he goes, it's halfway done. I said, oh, well, hell, you can stop pitching me. Let's go. Let's give me the script. I'm in. Are you kidding? Like, what was I going to say? No. Yeah. How about yes? Can we do it now? Now it's good.
Who needs the Princess and the Frog ride? Who needs that? Boo!
Yes.
Finally, it would be remiss of me. I'm going to go full Mark Hamill here now. And I've loved talking to you, but I'd love to talk to some of your incredible characters, if that's okay with you.
Yes.
So I'm going to speed through some quick fire questions for them. And I just want to hear what they'd have to say. Like this one. For your buddy Darkwing Duck, because it's nearly Halloween. What are you going to dress up as for Halloween, Darkwing?
I am the terror that flaps in the night. I will be the winged scourge that pecks at your nightmares. I am Darkwing Duck. And I'll probably go as myself.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Darkwing Duck, you would, wouldn't you?
Maybe I'll go, you know what? I'll go as Drake Mallard. No one expects Drake Mallard.
And Cheshire Cat. I know you know someone called Alice, but do you know Alice Cooper? Have you ever heard of their music?
Well, let's see. I should think that school is out on that particular Cooper.
Who'd have thought there'd have been so much rock in Wonderland? I did not see that coming. To our boy Hondo, if Disney Plus were to make a series of your life, what are the chances that I could be cast as one of your pirate gang?
Well. That depends, my good friend. Have you got any of the elusive piasters or sponduits? I think with the proper investment in Hondo Ohnaka Enterprises, we can make certain things happen for you. And I mean in a big way. In other words, show me the money.
Oh, you've barked up the wrong tree. I'm very, very broke. Monterey Jack, can you rank these cheeses from best to worst? We've got Brie, Feta, and Stilton.
Right. Well, I like 'em all, mate. Pass me a cheese. I've never met a slice of cheese what I haven't loved. So if you know what my favourite sort of cheese is, don't you? Nearby.
I want to talk about cheese with every single person. I love movies and I love cheese. If I can get cheese into every interview I can do, perfect.
That's great.
Ray, now I recently proposed to my girlfriend, and now we're sort of getting to the point where we're going to start writing vows. As the most romantic man, well, not man, as the most romantic fly I know, what should I put in these vows?
Well, don't forget to keep your butt well lit. That's for sure. That's all I can say. And no matter where you go, there you are. And you can be that way for never and ever. And as long as you hold her close to your heart and sing a song to her every now and then, it's going to be fine.
You've not heard me sing. You do not. She does not want me singing to her every now and then. Oh, no.
Well, she's your own personal Evangeline.
Winnie the Pooh. We just spoke about my fiance Alex. You are her favourite Disney character of all time. Could I get a little shout out to Alex from Winnie the Pooh?
Well, of course. Hello there, Alex. It's me, Pooh Bear. And I just have one small little favor for you to ask of me, of my dear friend here. And I just thought that it might be nice if you were just as sweet as honey forever with my dear friend Daniel. And don't forget to keep on bouncing. Otherwise, it would be ridiculous.
That is going to get me so many brownie points. If I don't load the dishwasher, I'll just play that again and be like, look what I did. And I'm off for another week. Brilliant. Tigger, I also want to know, what is the wonderful thing about Tiggers?
Oh, Tiggers are wonderful things. Their tops are made of rubber. Their bottoms are made of springs. They're bouncy, bouncy, flouncy, bouncy, fun, 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 fun. But the most wonderful thing about Tiggers is I'm the only one. The only one. In case you're wondering, there's just the one. Could I be more specific? I'm kidding with you.
This is the peak of my career. I'm not going to lie to you. Pete, I saw there was a Kingdom Hearts 4 video game coming out. I know you've been in all the Kingdom Hearts games, Pete. What new worlds can we expect to see in that?
Well, that's a tough one there, buddy. You know, it's like I always say to the goof. Be quiet. I'm kidding with you. No, it's a... Well, as long as... Here's the most important thing, is you keep buying them. You will keep making them, and you keep buying them. And everybody goes home happy.
Fair play. I may as well just put the money directly in your pocket because I'm a sucker for those games.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Cat of cat dog fame. What's better, cats or dogs?
Well, that's an easy one. Now, you can ask Dog. Oh, that's right. He's bringing up my rear. So take a wild guess.
And car. What's better, cats or snakes?
Well, they're both rather tasty, but I do prefer a cat now and then.
Dr. Robotnik, I don't know if you saw the first trailer for the Sonic film, but we were introduced to that really ugly version of Sonic. What did you make of him?
Well, you must be a friend of Snively's. I just have one thing to say. Did you get that hedgehog?
Ed, the hyena. What do you think the meaning of life is?
Ooh.
Huh?
I thought similar. And I just want to get a second opinion. Taz, do you agree with him?
Oh, what? What?
And you ended on a fart noise. What a way to end an interview that is right there.
Life is good.
Thank you so much for chatting to me.
My pleasure. Can't wait to see it.
Mate, thank you so much. Like, I've loved every bit of this.
Oh, good. Well, my work here is done. I'll go back to annoying my wife now.
Oh, and if you need help, if you need a second opinion on annoying her, I'll do it. I'll take one for the team.
It's the deal. Well, God bless, Daniel. Thank you very much. Goodbye, everybody out there. Stay tuned and keep smiling and be nice to each other. Stay healthy. God bless.